And we have a special hit and run cash game session. We will be playing 2-5 at multiple casinos today. Can I successfully hit and run at each casino to win? Let's find out. First stop is the Aria. First hand at the Aria, I get dealt Queen 9 off in big blind. Hijack opens to 20. Folds around to me, I put in the call. We go to a flop of 10, King 5, 2 diamonds. I check. They bet 25. I call. The turn brings in the Queen of Spades. I check. They put out a bet of $55. I put in a call once again. The river brings in the Queen of Hearts. We trip up on the river. I check, and unfortunately my opponent checks back. I show my queen and I take down the pot. And bear with me here, I unfortunately wasn't allowed to record anymore, so this is going to be my last hand at Aria before I go to another casino. I do get dealt Ace King for my last hand under the gun. I raise it up to 15. Two people in middle position put in a call. Small blind squeezes to $80. And I decide to put in the 4-bet from under the gun. I make it $220 to go. Both players in middle position fold. And small blind immediately puts in the call. We go to a flop of 3, 2, 2. 2 clubs. They check. I put out a bet of $220, roughly 50% of the pot. They snap fold and I take it down, and we are out of here. We're going to the next casino. Next up on the list is going to be the Venetian. Let's see if we can find a win at casino number 2. And I'm not at the Venetian, and I get dealt Ace King off in the big blind, my first hand. Under the gun opens to 20, button flats. Folds around to me, I squeeze to 75. Under the gun and button both put in the call for 75. And we go to a flop of 4, 2, 8, 2 spades. I bet 65. Under the gun puts in the call and my other opponent folds. We go to a turn of 2 of clubs. I decide to continue barreling here. I make it $225 to go. Under the gun once again puts in the call. The river brings in the 5 of hearts. I decide to check here and my opponent immediately checks back. I show Ace King for Ace High and they muck their cards. We take down the pot, and Venetian as well tells me that I can no longer record here, so the hit and run at casinos will continue. Final and last up on the list will be Resorts World. Can we go 3-4-3? Let's go straight to the action to find out. And here at Resorts World, I get dealt Queen Jack suited in hijack. My opponent opens to 10. I make it $45 to go. It folds back around to my opponent and they put in the call. We go to a flop of 6, 10, 9, 2 diamonds. They check and I put in the check back as well. The turn brings in the 8 of hearts. Well, that's a beautiful turn. I literally have these stone cold nuts right now. They check. I decided to just put in a small bet here for $35, but unfortunately my opponent folds and take it down. And I look down at Ace 2 suited. I open to $15. Small blind puts in the flat and big blind folds. We go to a flop of Ace 5 2. 2 hearts. They check. I bet $10. They come along with a call. The turn brings in the 9 of clubs. They check once again, and I put in a bet of $35. Unfortunately, without 2 pair, they do fold, but we take down another pot for the night. And I looked out at a nice sexy hand, Ace Queen off on the button. My opponent opens to $15. I put in a 3-bet to $50. It folds back around to them, and they put in the call. Go to a nice, beautiful flop of 9, Queen 5, 2 spades. Flop, top pair, top kicker here. They check. I do size up a little bit here. We are more than 100 big blinds deep. Roughly $1,000 effective. We decide to make it $50. Fortunately, they just fold and we take down another pot. And same hand, pretty much almost back to back. I get dealt Ace Queen off. Middle position opens to $15, and I put in a 3-bet in middle position as well to $50. Goes back around to them and they put in a call. We go to a flop of Queen 4 5 2 spades. Once again, a flop and top. They check. I bet $50. They put in a call. The turn brings in the 7 of clubs. Slightly worried here. They do check, and I decide to just check back this time instead of double barreling. River brings in the 10 of clubs. They check. Decide to go for some value here. Put in a bet of $135. Unfortunately, they fold, but hey, once again, we take down another pot. And we get dealt the best drawing hand in poker, Ace King offsuit. Low Jack opens to $15. I 3-bet to $50. And button to my left actually puts in the cold call. Beautiful 3-bet cold call. Gotta love it. Folds back around to low jack and they put in the 4-bet to $220. They're only playing roughly $600 effective, so 120 big blinds. Think for a couple of seconds and we're gonna have an 100 moment. I am all in for $600. Button folds. Low jack looks at me for a little bit and they just muck their cards and we take down a massive pot pre-flop without even having to see the cards. And I look down at King Jack offsuit, open it up to $15. Both small blind and big blind put in a call. We go to a flop of Jack, Jack for rainbow. They both check. Loving this flop. Pretty much should have the best hand almost always here. I put in a bet of $15. Small blind decides to come along, but big blind folds. So we go to a turn of Queen of Hearts. Backdoor Hearts is coming in now. They check. I put in a bet of $55. They call. We go to the river. Brings in the 4 of spades. So pretty much have the nuts here unless my opponent somehow has Queen Jack or pocket 4s for quads. So feeling pretty good here. They check. And I do put in the massive overbet here. Just jam for $300. Pretty much snap fold and I take down the pot. And I look down at Ace 4 suited. I've been 3-betting the person to my right a lot. And they do open to $15. And once again, I am putting in another 3-bet against them. I make it $50 to go. Folds back around to them. And even though I've been 3-betting them a lot, they sure are not folding a lot. They do put in a call. We go to a flop of 9-3-8 rainbow. They check. I put in a bet of $65. They call. We go to a turn of 8 of clubs. They check. I check as well. And we get to the river. Another 8 comes in, the 8 of spades. They check. I decide to just give up here. They didn't want to bluff, so I do put in the check. And they actually showed Jack 10 suited, and my ace high actually takes it down. They actually did tell me they were going to check raise the flop, but they decided to not do it. And if they did, I would have definitely folded. So yeah, pretty nice, pretty nice. And last hand for the session, I look down and get dealt ace 10 off in the big blind. All the guy from early position opens to $10. Everybody folds and I put in the call. We go to a flop of Queen, Jack, 9, 2 hearts. Pretty much open-ended here to the nuts. I check. They bet $15. I decide to check raise to $50. And notice before I said the old guy from early position, right? Remember that. Why am I even check raising here? Why did I do this to myself? This was definitely just setting myself up for failure. And I see immediately they put in the 3-bet to $115 on the flop. So they're 3-betting me here. I just start sighing and I'm just really upset that I even check raised the old guy at the table. Like, just not fun. Not fun. I do put in the call. I am drawn to the nuts. Unfortunately, the turn comes the 7 of hearts. I check. They jam for $300 or so, and just so upset at myself. What a sad way to end a day, but I'm just gonna have to muck here. Just never gonna be good here. Looks like I have a lot of equity, but it's okay. I'm just gonna let this go, and they do take it down. All right, everybody, so we just had a really good session at Resorts World. Ended up $359. So we basically won money at each and every casino. You're gonna see the casinos on the screen and the totals. What an amazing day. Literally just did a bunch of hit and runs. Here's another cash game vlog where I rivered a straight flush for a lot of money. Check it out.